Hello again and welcome to Take the Lead Dog Training. This video here is going to cover livestock worrying, and what I've done is, as you can see, here's a young spaniel with extreme interest in sheep, to the point that it's become a nightmare for the owner. As you watch here, look, there goes the young dog. The young dog's actually on an anti-pull harness, which theoretically, attaching to the front of the dog, means that she shouldn't be able to pull. I'll leave it up to you and to what you see as to whether or not you think that that's an effective way of training the dog. As you can see, she's received some clicker training, as in the dog is rewarded for proximity to handler, which is something that we'd always encourage. We haven't been involved in the training of that particular behaviour there, but what you'll see is that the dog comes back for the reward, receives one reward and then goes off again. There we go. Look, I mean, that's absolutely horrendous. Anybody who's been in that position knows just how anxious that makes you feel and how worrying it is to try and walk your dog in any sort of rural location, knowing that that's the sort of response. And this owner here is looking to be able to walk the dog off lead. Again, I'll leave it up to yourselves to be able to look at the video and decide whether or not you'd trust that dog off lead around livestock. There she goes again, straight over towards the sheep. You have to excuse the quality of the filming here. It is a very rough edit, and it's just provided for information purposes only, and for help of people to be able to see that, you know, we do actually train dogs in the real world with real world problems. There she goes again. The sheep are just off over to the right there. Apart from anything else, apart from the actual worrying of the livestock and the potential loss of life that means not only to the farmer's stock but to the dog herself, as you'll see here, she'll take the treat and go. There we go. See, that all comes down to the reward schedules, how often the dog has been rewarded for being alongside the owner, what the reward has been, but a lot of clicker training, really, without going into too much detail, there's a lot involved in the actual schedule of reward that you give your dog to enable the dog to be able to stay alongside you for longer. Okay, so this dog's now had an input of training for about, well, I would say about 25-30 minutes worth of training. And what we're doing here is we're walking again. The owner, same dog, same owner, walking in a different location, because what we want to do is generalise the response of this dog to sheep once she's received a bit of training. So I'm going to keep quiet for a moment and just allow you to see. But before I do close my mouth, I'd just like you to have a look and particularly notice the fact that the dog isn't scared of sheep. Okay, that's something that we're very particular about. We don't want to create fear responses in the dog, contrary to what a lot of people would say, in that you want the dog to be terrified of sheep. We don't. We want the dog to have a healthy respect of sheep, so she's able to look, she's able to move towards them, but she will never ever chase them. That's what we're aiming for.
Can you just turn and walk back past them again? Nice one, thanks.
Okay, I'll say again, this is after about 25 to 30 minutes worth of training. I just want to show you the proximity of this dog to these sheep, and more importantly than that, look at the body language of the dog. There's still a little bit of interest there, look. There's still a little bit of interest. But the flexi there is it's unlocked, so she's able to go as fast and as far as she wants. But that interest is going to be removed, so that we simply get a healthy respect for the sheep. As I say again, to repeat myself, we do not want a fear. As you can see, the owner's quite happily and confidently walking along there, and the dog's coming back alongside. The important thing to notice here as well is this is alongside a road, so you know, there's a lot of trust being put in this young dog and the training that's being employed here, because there are sheep on either side of the road, and she's staying pretty much alongside mum, certainly within a decent sort of distance of mum anyway. I'm purposely not going into the actual training that's being done and how it's being done, because there's too much involved to try and give on a voiceover of a clip. The reason behind this clip is just basically to show a real life example of a dog going from a dog that chases livestock to a dog that no longer chases livestock, in a nutshell. What we've done here is we've switched over, we've gone back to the original location where the sheep chasing occurred, but we've approached it from a different angle. There's reasons behind that. We've also swapped the lead over, and there's reasons behind that. So what you've got here is Nona, who isn't actually putting a lead on the dog, but there's a 30-foot line on this dog here, a drag line. So there's no pressure on the dog. The dog isn't aware of a jolt on the line should she decide to break. So we're moving more towards freedom here. We're giving the dog more of a feeling of being able to go where she wants and when she wants. But again, I'll close my mouth from this point on, and if you just see, hopefully you'll be able to see the laxness in the line, the looseness in the line, and also the dog's response and proximity to the sheep. Here's a test here, because these sheep actually start to run. There she goes, look, there she goes. The owner's not got a line in her hand. That was a turn of the dog's own accord to come back. And there goes a running sheep. And there's the dog. And another one. Again, anybody who's got a dog that's ever chased livestock knows just how appealing that big bouncing up and down woolly backside is in front of your dog. And there you can see the line dragging. Look, you can actually see the amount of line that dog's got out and how free she is. And we're going to move in closer. Before that, I'm just going to quickly show this in slow motion again. This is what we had. And we're now talking probably about 40 minutes worth of training. And this is what we had. Again, just look at the level of intensity of the interest, look at the tightness of the line, or the lead as she hits, and look at the effect that this has on the owner's arm and shoulder, particularly elderly owners or anybody who's got any form of musculoskeletal injury would appreciate just how painful that can be, particularly with a larger breed dog, but small ones are quite capable as well. But when they hit the end of that line, here's the one treat and run that I was talking about earlier on. There we go, I've got my treat, off I go, back towards the sheep. That's what I really want to do. And look again, she's able to actually drag that owner over. I've slowed this one right down, just so you're actually able to see the intent in that dog. And there's the running sheep that I was just talking about, and look how much that turns this young dog on. There we go. Okay, so that's 40 minutes previous, and we'll come back to present time. Same location, same sheep, same dog, same owner. The jumping up here, this is something that the dog, the owner actually asked me whether or not we should rectify this, and I won't go into detail about that, but it's something it's important that we work on one thing at a time. The jumping up's easily rectified, but that's something that came with the dog from earlier. A lot of reward training, really. The dog's aware of the fact that there's some tasty treats in that pocket and jumping up, trying to get them out.
Can you just go back towards them a little bit
at this
once
moment
more?
in time, we really couldn't care less what the dog's doing,
Yeah,
as long
just
as the
towards
dog
them a
isn't
little
chasing
bit.
the sheep. Now, this is tempting for any dog that chases livestock. Look, the flock tightly together, all moving away, lots of waggly bums. Mum turns away. Notice there's no yank on the line, there's no command for the dog to follow Mum. It's all down to her to choose the correct response. And again, that's it. Have a look, back to Mum, have a look, and back to Mum. Good. So now we push it a little bit closer, or a little bit further. We get this tight bunch of sheep. These are just loose moorland sheep, by the way. They're obviously owned, but there's no time are they under any sort of danger because of the fact that the drag line is there. That's for the safety of the farmer's stock as well as the dog. But this is really now a huge test on this young dog with the level of training that she's had to come in so closely behind that moving flock and show no response. She's done really, really well here. As you can see, she's moving slightly to the side of the sheep, slightly away from the sheep, but she's not afraid. Look at the tail, look at the body carriage, look at that, look. Absolutely no fear. Good girl. And again, we'll have a look, and back to mum. Lovely. Very well done. So we come back in again, back around again. It's important we don't push it for too long. You know, it's only short periods of time that each bit of training is done, but what's important to see here is that mum's going for a walk. You know, there's no shouting, there's no yanking, there's no anything. Mum's just going for a walk, and where she goes, dog goes. That's what we want. Dog doesn't have to be glued to a side. We don't need perfect heel work. We just want dog to stay within the general proximity of the handler.
Lovely.
And the next
That'll
clip
do
that we
for
show
you.
here, this is a real pushing it further again. This is the last one that you'll see in this series. This is dusk. So anybody who owns a dog and walks a dog at night time knows that they switch on in dusk. So again, similar location. And what we've got here is the young dog with the drag line on, but we've taken it a step further and mum's not holding it. So the dog is now totally free to do what she wants to do. So mum's going to walk alongside the road here, and as I say again, it is dusk, and on the other side of the road there is a flock of sheep, and I just want to basically show what is achievable. This is probably following, I would say, about an hour and 30 minutes worth of input on this young dog from what we had
You
before
just walk her back towards
to what
my
we've got
van,
here.
and then you pop her away then. Right, she's totally on your own now.
Beautiful. Lovely response. That's exactly what we're looking for. Superb. Heel free walking past a flock of sheep at dusk with no interest at all. Thank you.